everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today's Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. And so today, a bunch of us scrapbookers are taking inspiration from our Pinterest boards and turning it into a scrapbook layout. So I have been inspired by what you see in the upper left-hand corner from Chris's Creative Life, and I'll have that pin linked below. Also linked below will be the YouTube videos for everybody else who is participating this month. So hop along and see how they were inspired. I really liked this layout because it's got 3 photos on it, and it actually it kind of tells you the sizing of the photos, or I think it sort of does. I may have guessed a little, but you'll actually see instead of using 3 photos, I'm actually only using 2 photos, and then I'm using an autographed piece of paper. So we'll get to that in a second. So I had pulled some of these items, that burner sticker that is not a full 12 inches across. Thanks a lot, Echo Park. But I decided that I was going to use up some birthday items that I'd used in a previous process video for my Scrapbook and Cards Today inspiration series. And I decided I was going to use those. They're sort of celebratory, but not birthday. So still kind of going with the like yay theme, but we're not doing a birthday layout. So just a way to use birthday items in a non-birthday way. And something I think is cool is that this birthday paper pad from Honeybee Stamps, I'm cutting the 6x6 papers down to 4x4 squares. One side of them is a very like birthday theme pattern, and then the other side is more generic. And so I love when, most scrapbook manufacturers do that with their pattern papers. So even if you've got something that seems Halloween-y, on the other side, it's probably going to be pretty general. And so you could actually use that collection in a different way for other things. So I liked that the background of the original layout had those 4 squares. And when I originally saw that, I said, I knew this is going to be perfect for a 6x6 paper pad. Or even if you have like leftover scraps of paper, you could use those as well. So like I said, I cut mine into 4x4 squares. I'm lining them up so they kind of make like a diamond. And then I've got a pattern paper and that banner strip on the left-hand side of the page. So keeping things pretty similar to how they look so far on the original layout. I decided that I did want to back my photos and my little autographed element with some pink cardstock that I just happened to have in my stash. And the photo was 4x6, but I cut the pink matting to 4x6. And then the smaller photo was 4x4, but I cut the matting to 4x4. So I just trimmed a little, like a 1/4 of an inch maybe off the top and bottom of both of the photos, just so you'd be able to see the matting peek out a little bit more. So I've got less than a 4x6 photo basically, and then less than a 4x4 photo. And then I've got a business card that has been autographed by a YouTube star. So let me tell you about this while I'm adhering these pieces down. I work in the toy industry, and there was a toy industry event at FAO Schwartz in New York City back in July. And it was timed to this other event where all these influencers show up and they get free swag and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people who my daughter watches on YouTube were at this event. And I happened to see this little girl and her mom in line waiting to get in. And I was like, oh my God, I have to fangirl. I have to get this kid's autographed for my kid. So I happened to have a pen and one of my business cards in my purse. And I went up to them and I was like, can I get your autograph? She's the Stella Show on YouTube, if you need to know. So my kid was very excited when I came home with that. And I showed her a picture. The top picture is of people speaking. There was a little presentation about, I don't remember what they said anymore, actually. But there was a little presentation, and you can actually see the little girl, Stella, in the back of that picture. So there's a picture of my daughter holding the autograph. I included the autograph on the page, and yeah, and then you can also tell that I rotated my images. So originally the 4x6 photo on the Chris's Creative Life layout was horizontal, but mine was vertical. So I just kind of moved everything around a little bit. I think this design can be done in a lot of ways. I mean, I could have had the pattern paper and the banner strip up on top and kept the photo design the same, but I didn't really like it being on the top. I liked it on the side. So I just kind of rotated the photos around, and you get the same idea. And now basically it comes down to embellishing. And I'm using a lot of the Echo Park Birthday Girl die cut embellishments and stickers that I purchased as part of the Scrapbook and Cards Today Spring Designer Challenge process video that I did. I've got the Simple Stories foam alpha stickers that I'm going to use for my title. And then I'm adding in I'm just trying to find other things to add in. You saw that I have a doily that was just out on my desk. So I was like, sure, I'll throw that in. I'm just trying to create embellishment clusters, really try to layer things up a little bit. So I have elements that are peeking out from behind my photos. That banner sticker is going to be going across the photo. It's going to be touching the photo, and I will eventually also add in some big gem stickers. They're not enamel dots. They're not enamel dots, but they're not really gems either. I don't know what they're called, and I threw the packaging away because I have actually used all of them by now. But they're really fun. I got them from Keep It Simple Scrapbooking at the Stampin' Scrapbook Expo that happened over the summer. So yeah, I'm curious to know how often you guys turn to Pinterest to get inspiration for your scrapbook layouts. I know that a lot of us, I see a lot of scrapbookers. I follow a lot of scrapbookers on social media, Instagram, here on YouTube. So you get a lot of inspiration seeing stuff there. But I do have a very, very robust scrapbook and cards Pinterest board, and I just keep adding to it. And it seems like it's just a never-ending source of inspiration, and yet I never really go to it that often because there are so many other sources of inspiration. There's just so many cool things that I see everywhere, and I want to scraplift it all. So this once a month challenge is a good way for me to go through. This is a relatively new pin that I added to that Pinterest board, and I'll have that Pinterest board linked below as well. But I have stuff from years and years and years ago, back when Pinterest first started, or when I first got on Pinterest, that I haven't scraplifted. I haven't tried to interpret. So this is a fun challenge to see how deep into this Scrapbook and Cards Pinterest board I can go. Or even if I find something else that might inspire me. That's always kind of the fun thing, especially doing this hop, is that sometimes people are inspired by a sketch, they're inspired by another layout, or they're just inspired by a random image. And you look at the image and you're like, what does that have to do with scrapbooking? But maybe they take the color scheme, or there's some sort of pattern or texture in the image, and that's what they use to inspire their layout. So there's a lot of different ways that you could interpret this challenge. And if you do decide that you want to play along, share your stuff on social media, use the hashtag OTBWPP, and that of course stands for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. So now I'm doing the title. The blue on this blue cardstock, this blue background, it does kind of match. The Simple Story stickers are a little bit darker than the blue background, which is good. But I didn't really want it to go underneath. I didn't want to have my title stacked, because I wanted to do my journaling on the blue cardstock, as I'm doing right now, just telling the story that I previously told you. And so I always like the look of the journaling going underneath the words. That's my thing. Sorry, I was getting distracted because I'm thinking about something that's coming up for another Challenge Yourself challenge, and I realized that I had done the process video for it, but I hadn't edited it or anything, and I had just found that video in my phone's camera roll, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have this process video. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, wait, no, you can't post that yet. It can't go up until November 7th. So sneak peek, November 7th, there's gonna be a new Challenge Yourself challenge, and I'm gonna have a process video for it here on the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to consider doing so you don't miss out on that and all the other process videos and stuff that I do throughout the month. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, and thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. I just did a hand-drawn border real quick with a black marker pen just to kind of give this layout a nice finished look. And I think I do not do splatters. I do not. So yeah, the hand-drawn border really gives it a nice finished look. And I think I also like doing hand-drawn borders and then adding enamel dots, a row of 3 enamel dots kind of on the side. You'll see that in a second. I do that with these big, beautiful, gemmy thingies, whatever they are. If you guys have any questions about the products that I'm using, techniques that I did, anything you want to know, let me know in the comments below. Or if you just want to say hi to let me know that you were here, that would be great too. These are the close-ups. I hope they give you a little bit more in depth. I did pop some of those embellishments up on foam dots. I forgot to tell you that, but I did do that. And I did ink the edges of, I think, everything with a Distress Oxide ink pad. So there's that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.